I cannot believe this is the last one. I've been doing this since 2016, one a month with my embroidery club, and home will be the very last one from the One Stitch at a Time club. I wanted to do something really sweet, and to me there's nothing like a nest and the mom and dad and the eggs, and the nest is all tucked into the safety of the tree branches. So that's what I did on this one. I did a little bit of coloring. On the blue, I did a little shading too. So you can see I just barely put any color down on the breasts of the bird. So it's mostly up on the other part, and same with the eggs. I left just a little part where maybe there isn't quite as much blue. So all of this solid lines are stem stitched, and around the outside of the leaves too. And the inside of these leaves, I tried a different stitch, and on the next sample, I'll show you another way if you don't want to try this. It's called a cable chain. So there's like a little cable and then a straight stitch, and then a little cable and a straight stitch. And it took me a minute to figure out, but once I did, it was really fun to do. And the other stitch on here are just seed stitches. So on the pattern, you'll notice I drew all of these little stitches. You do not need to draw all the stitches. You can just, hunt and peck and do little stitches all on your own. You don't need to trace each one, but you certainly can if you want to. And the eyes of the birds, again, I'm just using a little line. I'm not using a French knot because I want it to be small. This one is almost done. I just need to finish up this branch. So I wanted to show you, I did the nest first, and then I'm going to do this branch, like the stem, because it's going to be on top of the nest. So you want to do the nest and then the stem, depending on what's in front and what's in back. And I happen to be away from home on a little stitching retreat, and I didn't bring my brown thread, so I can't finish that one up tonight, but I will finish that one up. Okay, so the other way that I stitch this, I just used one color, and it's the bronze, the Valdani, and because there is a word here, I couldn't do reverse, but it doesn't really matter because it's really pretty much the same coming or going. On this, I did trace all of these little seed stitches. Now, seed stitch, it's really easy, but it's also kind of hard sometimes because you have to make it so random, which being random is kind of the hardest part. So it's just a bunch of little straight stitches, and they're all going to go in different directions, and you just fill the whole thing in. So it's really easy if you can, let go of your need to let things look like they're in the correct spot. It's kind of like doing a scrappy quilt. For some reason, that's really hard for some people because they don't want to just, pull a fabric out of a bag and sew it together. They want it to look good with the fabric next to it. So I get that. It's kind of hard. So, and maybe it's easier then if you just draw them on. But it goes really fast like that, and then it adds a really nice texture, so it kind of looks like these are the little branches in the nest. So on the other one, this one, I did the cable chain in the leaves, and here I did a fern stitch in the leaf. So fern stitch, you're going to start at the tip of the leaf, and you come down a little bit, and you can see I didn't trace those. I just did a center line. You can trace them if you'd like. You bring your needle down about 1/4 inch, maybe a little less, and then up at an angle. Then you're going to go down in that center and up at an angle on the other side, down in the center and bring your needle up farther down the line. So there's the first one, and then I just repeat that. And it's kind of a nice way to give leaves like a vein type of look to them. They can be closer together, farther apart, because in nature, nothing is perfect. So it's okay if your stitching isn't perfect. And then I just end it with a little tail like that. On the smaller leaves, I just did one straight stitch because it was a little too small to do a cable chain, a fern stitch in there. So now that I showed you the fern stitch, I'm going to show you the cable chain. I am left-handed, and I know on a lot of stitches that doesn't matter quite as much. On this one it might, and it might be easier for you to do if you can see it right-handed. In fact, I'm trying to remember which way to go. So there is a fabulous website called Needle and Thread, and she has a really, really good video to show you how to do this stitch if you're right-handed. So you come up, we're gonna come up at the end, one end or the other, doesn't matter. And you're gonna wrap your thread towards you once around. You're gonna go down, just like 1/8 of an inch, and then you're going to bring your needle up about 1/8 of an inch. Now this thread is going to go under the needle and you pull. So there we have the little cable and then the chain. So we're just going to repeat that. So maybe I am doing it right-handed because the needle's in my right hand. You're going to not wrap it away from you. You have to wrap it towards you. You go down 1/8 of an inch and then up 1/8 of an inch. Wrap the thread under the needle and pull. So now you can see there's another one. So we have chain, cable, or cable, chain, whichever way you see that. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. So wrap it towards you, take your needle down and up. The thread goes under, towards you, not away. And then I end it by just doing a straight stitch a little farther out so it mimics this end. So that is a cable chain. And I think I did it right-handed, but sorry if that's confusing. When you're doing a stem stitch that's a circle, so it's not going to have a beginning and end, you want it to look consistent all the way through. You want to join up in a certain way. So to begin, you're going to do just a regular stem stitch, so you can start anywhere on the circle. Put the needle down about 1/8 of an inch, come back about halfway in between from where the needle went in and the thread came out. I'm carrying my thread on the outside because the curve is that way. Now 1/8 of an inch and come out in the same hole as the last stitch. Okay, I'll keep stitching this and I'll get back to you when I meet up with the beginning of this. Okay, so I'm almost meeting up to the beginning. So I'm going to take another stitch. I can feel that knot under there. Come up in the same hole. Now the trick is I want to act like I'm going to continue. So I want my stitch to go about halfway down this very first stitch and underneath it to kind of tuck it in there. Let's see how I did. So that's pretty good. It'd be hard to tell where I started and where I ended on that. And then see here, I didn't do it quite as good of a job. Same with this one. I shouldn't have shown you that, but now you know. These are just straight stitches, pretty basic, pretty easy. And I guess the last thing I want to tell you is if you do use color pencil, that's what I use to color these in with, the Prismacolor. Sometimes people ask me if they can use other color pencils, and I'm sure there are other good ones out there. I haven't tried them, so I can't really say. The one thing I do want to mention is you need to fix these before you start stitching. I fix it with a liquid medium called Jacquard textile medium, and you just paint it on a really light layer of it, let it dry, and then you stitch. Once you're all done stitching, you're going to press it, and you always press from the back side because you want the depth of these stitches to be absorbed into your ironing board surface so you don't flatten them out. The heat of the iron is going to set those colors. So now it is permanent, and you can wash it in the washing machine. So if you want to make a little kid's quilt or whatever, it's going to stay put. So I'll go ahead and finish these two up. I can't believe it's coming to an end and I'm saying goodbye, but I will be back with new patterns, and I've enjoyed these so much doing these with you, and I feel like I know a lot of you that are in this group, and I hope I will be in contact with you through social media again in the future. Always feel free to say hi and leave a comment. Thank you again. Bye-bye.